Hello YouTube, Matt here from the Forensic Operator Lab, and in today's video I'm going to be talking to you about Signal and forensics with Signal. So have you tried to do this recently? Opened the Signal database to look at Signal messages and found that you need a password and you don't know quite where to look? Well, in this video I'm going to be telling you where to look for that and how to decode messages and decode the attachments to the messages as well. So without further ado, let's get into this and learn how to find Signal messages and Signal attachments. Hey everybody, let's take a quick ad break for the video to talk about my sponsors. So my first sponsor is me and my Substack, which is called the Forensic Operator Lab. So if you enjoy what I write there and what I talk about here, please consider becoming a paid subscriber to help me out a lot in buying equipment, courses, and other things that will help this channel grow. And another thing that I like to talk about is one thing that I'm affiliated with, which is Blue Cape Security. So they're a training platform that provides free and paid training for Windows digital forensics. So they have free courses, which you see here, which cover fundamentals and attack and defend from ransomware and viruses, and other free webinars. And if you find these interesting and you'd like to buy something from them to help support me with my affiliate link, consider checking out their courses, which start at $197 and go all the way up to $1,500. And my favorite bundle is their Hero Bundle, which includes a vast amount of things about Windows digital forensics at an enterprise scale, SOC operations, and advanced incident response and ransomware detection and mitigation techniques. Also, 149 labs about this and 7 practical scenarios with a certification included, and 12 months of access to their labs and their actual courses. So that seems like a pretty good deal there. And if you're not convinced yet, take a look at their testimonials. And if their testimonials don't convince you further, I think everything that's on their syllabus and for each course and everything that's included here on this page will convince you to make a purchase. Now, if you want to make a purchase, I will include my affiliate link in the description and I'll flash it right now. So please consider buying from this if you're interested in helping my channel grow and you're interested in digital forensics too in a Windows scenario. So I hope that this convinces you to buy something or just check out this Blue Cape Security platform. And with that being said, let's jump back into the video. Okay, hey everybody, I'm back in DB browser for SQLite and I'm about to open the database again to show you guys from the beginning how to get to the Signal database and how to decrypt it. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go to the path which I have it saved at. And in this case, it's in an external SSD that I have, so it's mounted in my Linux system under Run, Media, my username, and the SSD is named Data, and it's under a folder called Forensics and Celebrate Russell, the Celebrate Russell image, and all of that. And then under the dump, we have our regular Android file directories, which are data and signals signals path is called, package folder is called org.crime.secure.sms. So we'll click into that, and under databases is the one that we want to read, and it's called signal.db. So before we do anything here with this password thing, passphrase will be fine for us, and we have to change it over to custom. And then one, SHA-1, SHA-1, and for the sake of speed of this video, I'm not going, I think, telling you guys about why this is this way is going to take a while to research, and I have other better things to do than research this for now, and other more pressing investigational matters to do as well. So I'll just leave it to you to do the research yourself if you're wondering why this is the way it is. And then what I want to do now is I want to open my notepad because I have the password saved. And so it's a hex value here, a hex key. And then we just go Control-C to copy this. And make sure that you have an app called org.crime.secure.sms in whatever secrets file. In this case, I have it on this one as a secrets.json file. And make sure you have it as that on your system. And I have that copied. And I'm going to paste it here under the password. And it'll open the database. It's very simple. So it takes us first to the attachment table, which I'll come back to later. But some other important tables are probably going to be, for many, the call table, which in this case has no calls. The drafts table, which in other places or in other images that I've analyzed has had drafts, but in this case it doesn't. Group receipts, group membership, which in this case doesn't have any groups. Maybe mentions will have something, and others down here will have something as well. But messages is one of the main ones that we look at. And it has both fields of text and blank and null values. And in our case, for attachments, most of the null values will contain attachments. And if we go to, actually back to our attachments, I'll do that before I go into my SQL table and give you guys an SQL query that I made. So you'll see all of these null values over here under the file name, and that means that these have no file name. And the original bodies of these files can be found by going to their ID values. So for instance, ID values 71, 76, and 78. And if we go back down to message, and go into the 70s, 71 is one of our values. 71 has nothing. 76 has a null value, and 78 has nothing as well. And so my logic there with that will be to combine the message tables or the message and attachment table to find out what attachments with file names there are. So if we go to execute SQL and go back to our notepad, which is going to be one of our favorite things, we go to this untitled document that I have here and do this select statement. And I'll take you through this select statement after I copy it and paste that bad boy in. So you go to select, you're going to select the body from the message table, the message ID from the attachment table, the date received from the message table, the data size from the message table, or the data size, the data random value, the data file, and the file name, and all of those from the attachment table. And you're going to combine the tables so that the message ID or the underscore ID of the message table is the same as the message ID of the attachment table. And that's a very nice equivalency there. And you're going to do this where the file name is not null. And we're going to order that by the date received. So it'll be in ascending order. Yup, it's going to be in ascending order. And it'll be the same as order by ASC. But you really don't have to do that. And so there are two things about this that I need to mention to you. So data random is in a blob value, which is a binary large object, and in this case we're going to want to take this blob, and since I'm in DB browser for SQLite, we're going to press this button up here, which I have highlighted. We're going to export the file to a place where we want to. But I have already done that, so I have no need to do that. And actually, this might be kind of redundant to have the file name here because we can name it anything we want with the method that we want to do. And we need to also make sure that this data size matches the size of the output file for what we get. So I was using this for another thing. But so this messenger forensics GitHub repository is something very useful for us here, and this is what I used in order to convert the attachments and their blobs with a certain role modern key value that I got to actual usable files. So first off, what is this MMS file right here? So this is just a virtual path, and what you're going to want to do is go to your signal root folder and go to app parts, and our file was _443.mms. And in this case, it's right here, and we could copy it into something like documents. I put it under signal video, and I also exported that binary raw value to here as well, and I put the signal get multimedia script here too. And you'll see that I ran it and put all of these values in as inputs, and it did it successfully. And I got this sample image right here, and when I opened it under it's not open under WaterFox, under open with WaterFox down here. You're going to see that it's an image of Clippy, and that works. And again, the place where I got that data random value is from my notepad. And if we go back to our secrets.json file, under this payload value here, we have a modern key value, and it's this right here. And as you can see, It is in fact that right there. When I go over to this, it matches this value. So we're going to have good on the same thing. But one thing that I should note before I leave this is that in some cases you might get an Android key store file, and this Android key store file will store all of the keys for your device, and you'll need to use this key and put it under from hex, and your modern key value will be this. And if you don't have that, one other thing that you might have to do is you might have to follow some tutorial like this that's kind of old, but will work for older devices. So in this case, you can find the key at this place, and then you'll be able to go under org.doccrime.sharedprefs and this XML file, and you'll be able to put in the ciphertext plus auth tag, and put that under CyberChef like this. You'll be able to get something out of it, and you'll be able to use the same method that I do with the thing that you get out of it, and you'll get your table just fine. And I hope that really helped you if you needed help with doing forensics in a signal database and you couldn't get up with what you had, and you tried all the resources, or if you were just curious how to do this on your own, and you have a full file system extraction with a bunch of the extra goodies, like what I had on mine. And if you found value in this, or if you want to see more of this, I highly recommend you like, subscribe, and share this video to other people so that you see more of my videos, and my videos get recommended to more people, and they can get whatever value they can out of this type of content. And now, until next time, this has been Matt of the Forensic Operator Lab, talking to you about decrypting signal databases and finding specific data of interest inside those databases. And until next time, Matt out.